Some of you have asked how to solve for an unknown charge using the equations that we already know. So I've written an example here. A charge of 5.5 times 10 to the negative fifth coulombs exerts a force of 335 newtons on an unknown charge 6.2 meters away. What is the value for the unknown charge? So let's take a look and see how we would solve that problem. We already know that the force is equal to K times Q1 times Q2 divided by the distance squared. And the K can be in front or up on top, it doesn't matter. So we need to solve for Q2, the unknown charge. So to get it by itself, we can multiply both sides by d squared. So if I multiply this side by d squared, it will cancel, right? So that cancels with that. So I've got d squared over here. And then I'm going to divide both sides by K and Q1. So we have K and Q1 here, and those cancel, and that leaves us with just Q2. So now we can substitute. So Q2 is equal to, I said, F times d squared over K Q1. So the force, 335 newtons. The distance is 6.2 meters, and don't forget to square that. And you're also going to be squaring the units there too. We're going to divide that by K, which is 8.99 times 10 to the ninth. We'll just call that 9 times 10 to the ninth. And you should always do that, 9 times 10 to the ninth. And the units for that are newtons times meters squared over coulombs squared. And then we have last our Q1, which is 5.5 times 10 to the negative fifth coulombs. And if we take a look, we can see that our units are appropriately canceling here. Our newtons cancels with our newtons. One of our coulombs cancels with one of our coulombs. And our meters up here, which is squared, is going to cancel with our meters squared. And it's going to leave us with coulombs on the top since it's being divided here. So we're going to multiply these out. Don't forget that when you're using exponents in the denominator, you need to be careful. We're multiplying 335 times 6.2 times 6.2. We're squaring it. Then we're dividing by 9 times 10 to the ninth. And then we're also dividing by 5.5 times 10 to the negative fifth. When you're doing these, you need to make sure to use the EE button. So this is 9 EE 9, and this one is 5.5 EE negative 5. If you don't do that, if you use that horrid little times and that little caret button by going times 10 with the little caret negative 5, that little times just move that number up to the top. When you substitute all of these in, you end up with 2.6 times 10 to the negative 2, or 0.026, and I think it's 0.1 or something like that, coulombs, depending on what your question bank or what your question on your quiz asks you for. You'll have to include as many significant digits as it says. In my case, for this one, I would probably round it off there. I've got two significant figures in most of my numbers, this one and this one, and so I would round it right there.